like I'm not active right now.
This is my brother. I talk to him all the time.
Mark, you know, Mark Van actually spoke to me, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about?
Can you guys see me here?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
Hey.
I'm Navajo. I'm Dr. Dave Goldtooth, and currently I'm a school administrator. And then I do a lot of promotion on behalf of like different policies, if you will, when it comes to the end of education, and then to instill that into the lives of elementary kids. And this is one avenue I would like to explore and then learn more about, and then how I can infuse that into the lives of little kids, especially with that self-identity through different means and through different perceptions. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Benny. Well, my name is Zeqi Chad Yan, and I'm finishing my last semester here. I'm a graduating senior in psychology. And the activism that I've engaged in is that previously I served as a student body president at Someone College, which is just in Farmington, an hour away. And also I served as a senator here at Fort Lewis College a few years back. So so I try to exert my influence by, for example, my senators back in Someone College just proposed the support resolution for Standing Rock Sioux Tribe. So it just got passed in the Senate, and it's going to go to the General Assembly so next week. So by next Wednesday, we hope that 18,000 students of Someone College will stand in solidarity with our Standing Rock Sioux Tribe in this cause. As a former senator, I reached out to the student body president currently, and 2 weeks ago, within a day, we were able to draft a resolution, and by Wednesday, we passed the support resolution. So instead of just 10 students who are passionate about this issue, we got 38, 50 students to stand behind this cause through that support resolution. So as an immigrant, I'm also passionate about keeping and retaining that traditional culture of all peoples. In this case, given that we do have a 35% American student population, my passion is to, and I've been engaged in revitalizing 2 student clubs. One is called the Buffalo Council, that introduces and initiates the discussion of food sovereignty and tribal sovereignty through indigenous education. So we're going to harvest the buffalo here off campus in November. The other organization that we just revitalized is called Balasanem Choir, and it has 20 years of a tradition at Fort Lewis College. So every single commencement, they will sing an honor song. And unfortunately got discontinued last semester, so I'm really glad and proud that we got it back registered as a student organization. So we'll be active again to continue to educate people about traditional Native American songs. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, share that traditional knowledge and that wisdom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because pass it on.
Yeah. So we need.
Yes, each one teach one.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
You guys, I have another question. So we talked about sharing wisdom and using hip hop in an activist perspective. How do you make sure that, how do you guys try to get around, or how do you justify some of the re-injury that's occurring in certain forms of hip hop? And by that I mean, a lot of lyrics that demean women.
Yep.
A lot of lyrics that things that seem small but are actually to me microaggressions. Saying when you're smoking weed you get cheeky-eyed. That's for a lot of people who are in the hip hop scene. There's not a lot of Asian people, and to talk to an Asian person who's listening to this hip hop, it's very insulting. So some of these words that are re-injuring when you're trying to stand in solidarity, but when you're in the form of hip hop and you're not quite being politically correct, and it's not standing in solidarity with other minorities. So how do you address that, or how do you justify that, or how do you perceive that? What are your opinions on that?
I'd like to say something about that. I think that the reason why artists make music that is not positive, abusive, or just about dumb shit like partying, drugs, getting money, getting bitches, they make that because the radio is programmed, and the people who control the media and the music industry want the people to be dumb. They don't want people to be speaking about, let's rise up, let's overcome. They want people to be like, oh, go do this, go do that, be distracted by stupid stuff. That's basically my spiel on that.
So what you're saying, excuse me, so what you're saying is that there are some artists who can compromise their principles and in order to get their music or work out in the mainstream.
And the mainstream's where all the money's at.
Correct.
So,
But how, I guess the question is that what does it take for hip hop artists who can really, how difficult it is to stand by their own principles and not conform to the mainstream, and still there are, and seek out alternative channels of publicizing their work, so that they do not have to perpetuate that stereotype or cater to that, capital system.
I mean, Kendrick Lamar is a great example,
Yeah.
right?
Very true.
Of somebody who stood for some of it. I mean, I don't agree with all of his stuff because it does demean certain groups of people.
I agree.
Yeah.
But, he's not, I guess he partially is doing that mainstream focus of whatever you need to rap about, but he's also using it as a platform for activism and
Yeah.
speaking about issues that for him are part of his principles. And his stuff is blowing up, it's mainstream.
Oh, of course.
White people love it, whatever, pay for it. he got invited to Coachella or whatever.
She's saying that Kendrick Lamar, he rhymed or made music that was able to get him a lot of attention, get him into the mainstream, so to speak. And then he used that and kind of started talking about more movement type.
From the beginning,
He and J. Cole are
like
really
his
both really
original
good at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's that next generation, hopefully. I mean, you can't, I thank you, sister, for bringing that up, because we can't talk about hip hop in the moment without addressing some of the wounds that hip hop itself is associated with, especially in regards to the rampant misogyny in the music itself, in the product. And we talked earlier about the product as it gets sort of reduced from the elements into a single, and the industry's role in sort of shaping that, but also the patriarchy's role in rewarding misogyny in that. And so we have to, I think right now in the moment, not omit that conversation, and that's a piece of it. As a hip hop educator, like a student of it, I don't teach about hip hop, I teach with it. And you have to really work, I think, to find, and that tells us something, but to celebrate our sisters who do hip hop and the diverse groups of people around the world who do that, so that we can see that good MC isn't about always dominating the mic like we maybe said it has, and all the patriarchal metaphors. But then you find the really good MCs are practiced in listening, and then some of the non-sort of masculinized characteristics of Western culture. And so for me, it becomes not only a genre or a practice, but it becomes a critical space where, like Cornel West says, we can get into the funk and the stank of the relationships. So where as recovering as a hip hop artist scholar, and I'm recovering from misogyny in my community all the time. I mean, like just by benefit of proxy who I am, benefiting from that, and especially benefiting disproportionately when I rock the mic. But so how do we then address that critically and say we need to have conversations around dismantling, like our sister there said, total liberation in the movement itself, right? And I think Gene Gray and other, like we go back to sometimes a golden era like MC Light and looking at where there has been sisters who have led this movement, and it can be a feminist movement too.
I just want to
Yeah.
interrupt real quick,
Yeah, and I
guys.
think,
We got
I heard
about 5
a few
minutes
things,
left.
I heard, one of the brothers talking about, alternative, like, sources, and I think we have to, we got 5 minutes, I gotta be quick. We gotta own our sources of media too, right? Cause we don't always have to go to the colonized, radio production to get our stuff played. We can create our own sources, and I think we gotta go back to that relationship where we can check each other, hold each other accountable.
Yes.
It's like you said, we're all reforming. Like I admittedly am also reforming. I mean, I think a lot of that misogyny and homophobia and all of this is coming from internalized oppression, and so we're trying to dismantle that and undo that within ourselves. So that's why community is so important. Where we can't just be in isolation, because when we're in community, when we're in relationship, we can check each other and we can uplift each other and reteach each other, the true values of taking care of each other. When we're not doing violence to each other's person through the language, through whatever form of art that, whatever element of hip hop, we can still do violence to each other through that. When we're holding each other accountable in relationships, so we can check each other to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So.
Go.
Right.
Yeah.
How about,
Yeah. Love.
how about this?
Yeah.
Always,
Subtle, like, do you guys have any comments on subtle racism in hip hop? Like I was saying, the chinky-eyed comments, yellow bone girls,
Yes.
whatever, like that kind of stuff that is still prevalent. That don't you even have artists who purport to be on the front lines of like racial activism that are still, even in the black community, are still pushing down certain types of people as far as their skin color and that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the same thing. We have to be accountable to that on all fronts. I mean, really asking, like, reclaiming. So we talked earlier about the historical tradition of recognizing difference and resolving those differences, not by having a single victor or an oppressor, and that's historically woven into it, and then the battle playing a particular role right now in a very destructive way. And so how do we begin to say, if you're battling and respecting and valuing difference in one another's artistry and craft and vision, that it's weakened by resorting to the devaluation of other, right? And so by setting some of those standards and holding us one another accountable to that, it's saying like, look, you don't get props in the battle for putting down, women or objectifying them. You don't celebrate this through oppressing any peoples or species, right? So really pushing it and changing that is kind of part of the activism within the movement. And not controlling it. That's the thing too, is like I've been in battles where we say like, don't say this word, don't say that word. It's just like, that's not gonna work. That's an authoritarian rule of things. It's like, let it flow and let people hold one another accountable to it and be committed to that constant thing, Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, because we could talk. That's our privilege. Like, we're just talking about hip hop and romanticizing about it a bit, right? And it's not pretty and clean all the time. It needs to be held accountable to those injustices.
Very true.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the struggle continues. It's a daily practice and process.
Just saying.
Y'all put this thing together. Some solidarity.
There we go.
Super strong.
Always.
Yes.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And congratulations on everything.
Do you guys have any ways we can get in touch with you or get in touch with Poetry Behind the Walls? What would you recommend is the best avenue to go about that?
Yeah. If you go to my website, joedavispoetry.com,
Oh, yeah?
and I have all my information is on there. All my projects are on there as well, including Poetry Behind the Walls, and you can go to poetrybeyondthewalls.org too. More information on that.
Yeah, and Anthony there, he's a brother from another mother, so you can always holler at Anthony and he'll get you in touch with just about anybody in the world.
There we go.
But yeah, you can get in touch with me through Anthony easily, or I'm posted up. My day job is that I'm a professor at Washington State University, so.
Ay, bullshit, really? Yeah? How nice. Really? I like it. Congratulations. Yeah. Very nice, very nice. You enjoy it?
I mean, it is what it is.
It is, exactly. It is what it is. Very nice. Mazel, mazel. But yes. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, look, first time watching this thing. Oh, no, I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Talking
You doing the work?
Talking to you.
That's right. Respect.
Keep it up.
Viva la revolution!
Thank you, Theo, for performing for us.
Working classes unite!
That's right. The bomb opens up and will swallow us all. So, take care.
Likewise, my friends. Ciao.
Peace, peace.